Hey guys, Nalewanyj here, bodytransformationtruth.com. Welcome to part 3 of my bodybuilding and fat loss Q&A series. I've received a lot of positive feedback on these videos so far, so I'm really glad that you guys have been finding the information helpful, and I'll provide links in the description box below to the other Q&As that are available if you want to go ahead and check those out. And let's go ahead and dive into today's questions. So question number 1 is it possible to specifically isolate different areas of the chest, such as the inner and outer and upper and lower regions? And if so, how? Well, to a degree, yes, you can. By using different angles and elbow positioning, it is possible for you to specifically shift the emphasis between the upper, middle, and lower regions of your chest. The pec major is actually made up of 2 different sets of fibers. You have the upper clavicular fibers, or the upper chest, and then you have the lower sternocostal fibers, which make up the mid and lower portion. So performing your pressing and your fly exercises at an incline angle, usually around 30 to 40 degrees, that's going to place more stress on the upper fibers, while using a flat or decline angle, again around 30 or 40 degrees, that's going to place more stress on the middle and lower fibers, with the emphasis continually shifting from the middle to lower area as the decline gets larger. Now, in terms of targeting the inner and the outer portion of the pecs, however, this unfortunately just isn't possible. And that's because when one set of fibers contract along your pec muscle, the entire fiber as a whole is going to contract. So it really doesn't matter which specific exercises or angles that you use. If you want to stress your inner chest or your outer chest, then the opposite side of those fibers also have to contract as well. So yes, you can specifically target the upper, middle, and lower regions from top to bottom, but not the inner or outer regions from side to side. Question number 2, I'm training hard in the gym and I'm getting consistently stronger every week, but I haven't made any real gains in overall body weight or muscle size. What's going on here? Well, assuming that you're following a standard bodybuilding style program where you're hitting each individual muscle group at least once per week, and you're hitting those muscles with a reasonable amount of total volume and intensity, then this really just comes down to an issue of improper diet, and more specifically, you're just not eating enough. See, your body can actually gain strength through other pathways besides just increasing the size of the actual muscles themselves. Your body also increases its strength through what are called neural adaptations, which basically means that it becomes more efficient at making use of the muscle tissue that you already have. So if you're consistently gaining strength without any noticeable gains in size, then this is what's actually going on. And the reason why this is the only adaptation that you're experiencing is because you're not providing your body with the excess calories that are needed in order to actually build new lean muscle tissue. So if you're not tracking anything with your diet and you're just eating at or around your calorie maintenance level each day, then your body will still gain strength through those neural pathways, but it won't actually physically be able to build any significant amount of new lean muscle mass. So the bottom line here is that you just need to increase your overall calorie intake and get yourself into a consistent calorie surplus. And if you want the just most basic way of calculating this, then just multiply your body weight in pounds by between 14 and 16, and then add around 300 to 400 calories on top of that. Question number 3, are lifting straps a useful training tool, or are they simply a crutch that should be avoided? So assuming that your underlying training goal is related to improving body composition by building muscle or by losing fat, then lifting straps definitely can be a useful tool in 2 main situations. The first situation is for heavy compound exercises where you simply don't have the grip strength to hold onto the weight for the entire set without dropping it, such as things like deadlifts or shrugs. In this case, lifting straps are basically going to be a must. Otherwise, you'll be hugely minimizing the stimulation of the muscles that you're actually trying to target, and you'll just be giving yourself a really good forearm workout essentially. So in this particular case, you can just work on your grip strength separately until it catches up, and use lifting straps in the meantime to ensure that it's your back or your legs or whatever other muscle you're trying to target that is receiving the bulk of the stimulation rather than your forearms. And the second situation is optional, and that's going to be to use straps as a way of improving the activation of your lats as well as your mid-back muscles during your compound upper body pulling exercises. Straps basically help to take your grip out of the equation so that you can place 100% of your focus on pulling the weight through your elbows rather than your hands, which is probably the most effective way to shift the emphasis onto your back muscles rather than your forearms and your biceps. So this one really just comes down to your individual training goals and how much value you place on developing grip strength in comparison to building overall muscle size. And also keep in mind here that if grip strength really is a big concern for you, then you can still use the straps as a way of maximizing muscle growth in your back and your legs, and then just incorporate separate grip strength training into your workouts. Question number 4, should overall calorie intake be decreased on non-workout days in comparison to workout days? So ultimately, constantly cycling your calories back and forth by increasing intake on training days and then reducing it on non-training days is really just a great way to overcomplicate your eating plan and to make things harder on yourself in the big picture for no real good reason. Now, I've said this a million times, but proper muscle building and fat burning nutrition is really all about the long term, and it's really not going to be measurably affected in any noticeable way by a few hundred calories more or less over small blocks of 24 hours. We tend to categorize things in terms of individual days just because it's a convenient way to organize our time, but there's really nothing special about that particular time frame, and it would actually be more useful for you to think about your food intake over longer spans of time, such as 1 week. On top of that, muscle growth and fat loss are not on-off switches where you're building muscle one day and then maintaining muscle the next day, or losing fat one day and maintaining your fat stores the next day. Instead, your body is in a constant state of both muscle growth and muscle breakdown, as well as both fat burning and fat storage. And for that reason, trying to time out your calories to specifically fuel each process day to day is really just a waste of effort, and it could actually increase your chances for long-term failure because it's going to make your diet harder to stick to. And question number 5, are behind the neck presses and pull downs a safe and effective way for training the shoulders and the lats? Now, I know that a lot of lifters really do like these two exercises, and yes, it is perfectly possible that you could consistently perform them over the long term without ever getting injured or running into problems, but I honestly don't see any real good reason to take the risk here. Vertically pressing and vertically pulling heavy objects behind your head just isn't a natural movement pattern for the human body, and it puts your shoulders into an excessive externally rotated position, which overly stresses your rotator cuff muscles and increases the chances for shoulder injury. Not only that, but it also promotes forward head posture, and it can also put excessive stress on the spine in lifters who don't have great flexibility. Behind the neck presses and behind the neck pull downs might feel like they're giving you a really good shoulder or lat workout, but there's really no unique muscle building advantage to performing these two exercises behind your neck as opposed to in front. So the risk reward factor just doesn't really make any sense at all in my view. So for the shoulders, just stick with a basic seated overhead dumbbell press or a basic barbell military press. And for the lats, just go with basic lat pull downs performed with the bar coming down to your upper chest. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching this Q&A video lesson. I hope you found the information useful here today. If you want to learn everything you need to know when it comes to proper training, nutrition, and supplementation to maximize your muscle building and your fat burning progress, along with concrete step-by-step plans that you can follow, make sure to head over to bodytransformationtruth.com and grab my complete body transformation blueprint system by clicking the icon at the top of the video or by using the link in the description box below. If you did enjoy the video, as always, please make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on future videos. And make sure to check out my official blog over at SeanNal.com for all of my latest articles, tips, and other updates. Talk to you again soon.